Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm The Real Roxanne. Today I wanted to talk about something that I feel like people that are beginners, or even if they're a little bit more advanced in applying makeup, something that we all have struggled with, trust me, and that is how to really intensify your eyeshadow color. One side, she's real intense, she's real vibrant, and the other side, she's a little subtle, she might be a little late, she's a little late girl, but we still love her anyway because she's so cute and she's so poppin'. But one side is definitely not like the other. So I have a few tips and tricks that I have kind of learned and that I like to use to really intensify my eyeshadows. So first and foremost, be sure to like this video if you like what you see. Subscribe so you can see more content from me. But stay tuned because now we're about to get into this video. Okay. So I'm just going to take the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in Fair and I'm going to apply that to my eyelids. So I'm going to use the tips and tricks on this eye, and then I'm just going to kind of leave this eye to do its own thing, so you can really see the difference. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of that. And I like to use my finger to really apply the concealer, especially the white concealer, because to me it kind of keeps it in its, in its like purest color and form. So I'm kind of bringing the white shadow not all the way to my eyebrow, but just kind of in the crease, because you want your crease colors to be very bright and vibrant too, especially if you're using colors. And you can put as much as you want. I really want this yellow to be like super intense, so and don't worry if it's a mess because we'll clean it up. So I'm not going to set the concealer with anything like a translucent powder or anything like that, because I find that when I set the concealer with translucent powder, it makes the eyeshadow come on really choppy and weird, so I'm not going to use it. So the second tip is to use a good old-fashioned eyeshadow brush, and I'm using the Morphe M167 brush. It's the perfect brush for picking up shadows, as opposed to like a fluffy brush or something like this where you're probably not going to be able to pick up the most shadows. So you really want a denser brush that can pick up the most product, and that's how you really intensify the colors on your lid. Yellow today, I'm going to be using the Colorburst 35B palette from Morphe, and we're just going to use this really beautiful yellow. So when you apply the product, you want to pat the product. You don't want to swipe it on, because that's how you'll get the biggest color payoff. Like, look at that color already. I literally did not have to even do anything. Hello color. Oh, look at that. easy colors, and it looks just like the color in the package, which is what you really want. There's nothing worse than seeing a beautiful shadow and then trying to put that baby on your eye and it looks like a whole nother color. It's the most annoying thing ever. So for my late girl eye, because she's not, you know, she's never on time, she's never ready, she's always behind on the trends, I'm going to use the same brush, the eyeshadow brush, in the same color, but let's see if the color is going to pay off as much as it did on this side. So the color is going on. So as you can see, you guys, the first step is the most important step in this entire video. Look at the difference in the intensity of the color from this side to this side. This side is just kind of, I mean, she's still cute, you know, but this side, she's like, you know, Beyonce, and then this side is like Farrah, you know. It's like, no, I love all of Destiny's Child. Anyways, no. Yeah, this side is just like, it looks a little dusty. You look dusty. You're not even that cute. Your hairline is uneven. Yeah, so as you guys can see, look how important it is to really, 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 really make sure that that base is really nice. And you can use a like a skin tone base. I just like to use the white because to me a skin tone base, and I mean that in saying like a concealer that's your skin tone or closer to your skin tone or whichever one you use, but to me it doesn't give you that perfect color payoff like I really want it to, like we have here. So for my crease, I'm just going to use just a little bit. I'm going to use a little bit of this, and I'm going to use the Morphe M532. And applying that product because I don't want it to look, I don't want it to be too much. So look at that color payoff. Thank God we put the concealer up there, you know, otherwise we would have been out of luck. And I'm going to apply the same orange with the same brush on the other side. And as you can see, it's just not as intense, and you can't really tell that, you know, on this side it's kind of giving me like a nice little sunset vibe, you know, but this side she's kind of like, you know, I'm not really sure what season it is, I don't know, you know. It's like, she's so cute. You can wet your brush to make sure that you get as much product as you need. Really, I don't really like to wet my brushes too much. You definitely don't want it to be soaking wet because once you put it into the pan, it's just going to be a mess and it's not going to pick up any product at all. So you can use water, just make sure you use water very sparingly. I like to use my MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime spray, and I just use a little bit and spray, and then I'm going to wipe off a little bit of the excess water on a towel or napkin, and you're good to use your, you know, you're good to pick up as much eyeshadow as you want. Really, I like to wet my shadows, or not my shadows, Lord, wet my brush, my eyeshadow brush when I use like a shimmer shade. I find that I don't really have to wet my brushes as much when I use like a matte shade. So there's a little tip. I have a few more tricks and tips that we can go over, but I'm going to finish the rest of my face. I will be right back. So another trick to really intensify your look, you can also use a little bit of the white concealer underneath on your lash line. So if you really want like a super dramatic, you know, intensified color, take a little bit of the white concealer and place it underneath your lash line. So you want to use a small brush that will not get product everywhere, but will also make sure, you know, that you're still putting enough product. I'm just going to take a small Morphe E36 brush and I'm going to go in with the yellow and I'm applying that underneath to really get to grab onto the product. Whew. So now if I were to apply the same color underneath on this side, it's not really doing much because you honestly can't even Alright guys, so one last trick that I want to mention, which is another super important trick, is you can also, instead of using the eyeshadows, you know, in just a regular palette, do not, I know this next word is going to sound super intimidating, but pigments are your friend. I promise. Do not be afraid of the pigments. Take your time. Just use it in moderation, but I love to use pigments in almost every single look that I've been doing. So when you use the pigments, so for example, I have the NYX pigment in, well, it's number 23, and you can use, I like to use a really tiny eyeshadow brush like the Morphe 205. Also use the NYX pigment primer, which works really good with applying pigments. So when I apply my pigments, when you see me do the white base, the white concealer base initially, instead of applying eyeshadow, I would just apply the pigment directly on top of the white shadow. So you really don't have to apply like a similar, so like how we have yellow and I have a yellow pigment, there's really no need to apply the matte shadow and then the pigment on top, because you want the pigment color to show in its purest form, and you want the color to be, you know, you want the color to represent exactly what you see in the bottle. So definitely do not apply an eyeshadow underneath your pigment. Also, when you do that, it kind of clumps up and it just does a bunch of weird things that we don't, you don't really want. So overall, let's go through the tricks and tips. Again, number one, use a white or light base or concealer. Number two, use a eyeshadow brush or some sort of brush with really dense bristles and that can really pick up the product. Number three, which is optional, wet the brush with Max Fix Plus or with water, but remember, do not drench that bad boy because you'll have problems. Number 4 is pat the product, not swipe. This is not Tinder. We are not swiping right for our eyeshadow. We want our eyeshadow to be as pigmented and, you know, as intense as possible. So pat that bad boy on. It takes a little bit longer, but I promise you it's worth the wait. Okay. Number 4, use pigments to really intensify the look. You can use multiple pigment colors. I just wanted just yellow, just a really yellow look today, but generally I would use maybe like 2 or 3 pigments or glitters or something, you know, to get that real depth effect. But today I just wanted my look to be flat out yellow, and that's what we got, and I'm pleased. Number 5 is place concealer on the lower lash line to really intensify that color. You can also use like a colored liner. I don't have it, somewhere in here. Probably should have got it before I started filming, but whatever. Y'all understand. Like the NYX eyeshadows that are really vibrant, you can use those on your lower lash line as well. Just make sure that it doesn't get messy. So overall, I hope this was super helpful. Now go forth and intensify your eyeshadows, please. I mean, she's cute too, you know, if you like a little, like I like this side. I think she's still cute, but I feel like if I'm gonna, you know, go yellow, I might as well go all the way, you know? Like, ain't no half stepping around here, okay? But anyways, be sure to like and subscribe. Again, my name is The Real Roxanne. You can follow me on Instagram. You guys follow me, hit like, hit subscribe, check out my other videos, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.